Bailey. And T-Cat's gonna eat all the wieners because you're not talking to us. Hello, Robin. Hello, Barb. Oh man, I forgot to turn the dryer back on. Hello, Ken, Frank. Be right back. Let me turn this dryer back on. Poor Bailey's not going to get any wieners because she won't come down and talk to us. Hello, Scott. DJ. What y'all think about that graveyard footage? Is that not creepy? I wish I knew how to stabilize and do all that. That would be cool. I just got home about 20 minutes ago now. Threw my clothes in the dryer and turned it on and washed some dishes from yesterday that I was too lazy to wash. And while I was doing that, the FLIR was uploading. I need to try to remember on the FLIR that I have to, whenever I'm recording, I have to keep it really steady. I'm used to not recording until I see something, but man, that thing's all over the place. It's kind of hard to watch. Looks like maybe Bailey had it. You know what I'm talking about? What? Somebody just sent me a thing. It says, don't believe what the game wardens tell you. I live in Lawrence County, which is the county I'm in. And for about 3 years straight, we had a large cat, parentheses around the large cat, of some kind killing our animals. One night around 1 a.m., I hear one of my little puppies yelping as it ran towards the house. When I got to it, its side had been completely ripped open with three large claw marks as clean as a razor. The puppy's mother was never seen again. We assumed she was killed while trying to protect her babies. A few nights later, I heard this cat, and as I shined a light near the tree line, I saw two big, bright yellow eyes. Then it ran away. Similar things followed the next few years, and there are lots of reports of people's dogs, goats, horses, and other animals being attacked. One of our neighbors claimed to have seen this black cat during the day. However, any game warden will happily tell you those kinds of animals do not exist in this area. Yep. Ain't no big cats or boogers around here. Yeah, I'm just never in the chat, sorry. I don't think it was a ghost either. I don't think ghosts put off heat, right? Because, I mean, whenever I seen the two ghosts that I seen, I never did feel a cold presence or anything like that. But I've heard people say that. Thank you, Robin. I tried to sign up with everybody's YouTube page today. I'm not sure. Not sure what you mean. I mean, Scott, the more eyes on something, the better. I totally think that. That's why, and again, I understand why Bigfoot Tony is taking a break. And, I mean, this is what he told me personally. But, the Bigfoot the community is kind of toxic. You've got people that will just post anything and claim it a Bigfoot, and it's not helpful. But I don't know. Kind of sucks though. I would like him to look at that just to see what he thinks. Thinker, I don't know. He's everything. He's kind of one of them, y'all. I mean, he's one. Everything's Bigfoot, and everything's not Bigfoot. Like the last video that he posted, I don't think that was Bigfoot. I think that was their buddy, or maybe someone messing with them. I don't think that was real. If you go and check out the channel, that guy's actually subscribed to Bigfoot Tony and Thinker. And one of his liked videos is, I guess, maybe his friends, because it was at the same place, and they filmed another booger. Number one, if that booger was walking nonchalant through the middle of a field, that would be the first time since Patty, all right? I mean, that just don't happen. I mean, and it didn't look like a booger at all to me. So, sorry, Thinker. I think you're wrong on that one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Thinker. I like a lot of his videos, and a lot of the videos he shows, I do think it's got something there. But that one was not, and his arguments were pretty weak on that one. Which he said that he, rushed through that one and all that. So, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. maybe he did rush through and not do any type of background or anything like that. That was, the guy had other videos, but nothing Bigfoot related. But I think that was just I don't think that was Bigfoot. Like, for instance, he said it crawled and went down, I guess belly crawled or whatever, to get out of the people's sight. And all it did was walk behind a ridge line. The people actually said that in the video, and you could see it coming up. And he totally missed that. So, I don't know. I try not to claim anything. Like, I'm not, that the graveyard video, I don't know what that is. All right? It creeps me out that it's definitely something there. And it looks like a human form walking on the other side of my truck. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 yards away at the most. And it never made a noise. And it had to be, I don't know. It was weird. The camera angle didn't do it any justice. Like I said, I kind of stuck the selfie stick down in the bed of my truck, and it was facing up a little bit. You can see the sky in the background and all that. But what I just showed was at 25% the speed. So whatever that was moved pretty quick. And I never heard a thing. I was preoccupied, but I never heard a thing. And you can go back and watch the video, see if you can hear anything, which that's one thing I haven't done to see if I hear walking, I guess. I haven't done that. I just put that in there, and I went back and watched it at a slow speed a few times, and they're right. Something is there. And then I just so happened to get FLIR footage, and if you listen to the video I've been talking about, I'm hearing movement here and there. But even on leaves, you all, if they don't want you to know, if a booger don't want people to know it's there, it won't make a sound. If it wants you to know it's there, it'll raise a ruckus. I've heard them bust up tree limbs and huff and grunt. I mean, just sound like all heck breaking loose. Screaming, all that. I was followed out one time, and it would wait for me to move before it moved. It kind of heated me off, and I've caught them up a couple times. I'll take a few steps and stop, and take maybe a few more steps, maybe a different number of steps, stop, and then it'll take that extra step. We've noticed around here that they use airplane noise to cover their movements. I mean, I'm not saying they're ghost-like in that they don't make any noise, but they make very little noise. And I hunt a lot, and I've seen coyotes, I've seen bobcats, and they'll be moving through the woods, deer, whatever. They'll be moving through the woods and not make a sound. Well, an audible sound that I can hear. And if they do, it's very little. So if they don't want you to know they're there, you're not going to know. That one time, like I was saying, I was throwing the ball to the dogs started fighting. I went down there and broke the fight up. Turned my back and knock. I had no idea one was right there. And it was less than 30 yards away. It's right up there where the gift stump is. And it was one of the best knocks I ever heard. Which spun me back around. I was looking, and it was dusk, and I couldn't see nothing. So I turned around again. This was right after I got my first smartphone. And I was going to record this. As soon as I turned around, knock, done it again. I got the phone, nothing else happened. I think it might have been the next night. I've got all this wrote down there. But something else came up there. This is whenever stuff was just starting to happen here. And I had put the dog food away where they couldn't get to the dog food. And started putting game cameras up and all that. And it made something mad. It made the booger mad. And it just raised holy heck up there. I mean, it sounded like it broke every limb in the woods and was grunting and huffing and just carrying on. And pretty scary. And it took off. And, I mean, it wanted me to know it was there. But they came down here next to the house, slapped on the house, and you don't hear nothing until they want you to hear it. The time they threw the stuffed bear out there, you know, I didn't hear them moving around or anything then, but they let me know they was here, and then they laughed at me. Sneaky boogers. I don't know. I guess if you really think about it, it is kind of terrifying or scary. And now that I think about the graveyard deal, I mean, that's pretty spooky. But at the time, you don't know. Like whenever the huffing and all that, you know, don't get me wrong, it's pretty exciting. It gives you the chills. But in a strange way, you get used to this stuff happening. And you just want to figure out, you want to see what it is doing it. And who knows, maybe one of these days I'll see what it is doing it and have a good look at it and never want to see it again. Or I might see it, be terrified, but still want to interact with them. Because my thoughts are, if they wanted to harm me, they could have done it years ago. They could have done it anytime they wanted to, but they haven't. So I've got a healthier respect for them. I'll put it like that, and I don't trust them at all. However, I don't think that they're here to hurt me. And that's not to say that, you know, there's not not things that could happen or have happened to other people, because it has. Yeah, I mean, it's Lady in the Woods had a stare down with one, and she probably scared it to death too. But I'm sure that was pretty exciting for her. Oh, really, Pam? I'll try that later. But if you ever listen to like the Sierra sounds and stuff, and they call what they call the samurai chatter and all that, all that sounds like a fast language. That might be interesting to slow that down too. Yeah, you're right, Jay. But we might want to, of course, you liable to whoop us come October. Yeah, there's a few caves, but they don't. They're more like rock cliffs. There's old abandoned coal mines, I'm sure, around here too. Most of those have been filled in, but there's a few nice size holes around here that they could definitely get back underground. Kentucky is a lot of limestone and a lot of cave systems in Kentucky. There's a pretty big cave system, and it's not all been explored over Carter Caves, which is the next county over in Carter County. And then we've got Mammoth Caves here, and there's just caves everywhere. Yeah, the Sierra sounds are pretty crazy. You was well, sorry, Fender. I just realized I was talking to you on Messenger too. All right, dude. We don't need any racists in here, so bye bye. Oh wait a minute, what I do? Ladies and got him. Thanks, Jay. I messed that all up. Wow. People's just silly. I mean, what? Like it or not, we're all in this together. You know, we all descended from Adam and Eve. Well, from that, from Noah and Mrs. Noah. You know, the arks. How close at the graveyard? Within 10 yards. It was within 10 yards of the other side of my truck, so I had another one, 3 yards, if that much, 2 yards. I will try to add you to we got a group too, Fender, if you'd be interested in it, just to let you just asked about me on live, so we'll see if I can add you to it. But I will warn you now, it's full of crazy people. Just let me ever do this. Hello, everybody. Ugh. I have to try it later. I can do it better on my phone. What is going on? We got another one. Is it a full moon tonight? What is going on here? Remind me, Pam, I'll try to add you to the group too. I can't do it right now for some reason. Maybe let me do it like this. Or maybe not. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be active tonight or not. Basically, I never know when it's going to be active. But I wanted to, I'll give that big dude. I don't know why this won't let me do this. Hello, thumbs down, Sissy. I've never watched a ghost show. I have no idea. Is that on YouTube? Why won't this let me do this? Now, let's see. Okay, hang on. Ah, there it is. Kyle, you should be in the group. And who else was it? Pan? What? I don't even see a Pam on my messenger. Send me a message or whatever, Pam. Maybe I can figure it out from there. You're not D. Big fat house shoes. Now you're gonna be going around making tracks trying to hoax, aren't you, Sissy? I don't know what you're up to. In Inez? I don't think there is one in Inez. Buddy Bailey's not coming down for her wieners. Bailey. There's old Frank. Bailey. Kitty cats are gonna get all your wieners. You lazy thing. Hello, Lucas. I will try afterwards, Diane. Yeah, Inez would be east. It is getting chilly out. It felt pretty good today. It's about 76, I guess, for a high. Boogers probably do like candy bars. However, I wouldn't give them to them. Now, whenever I first started doing this, I probably would have. I don't think I ever give them any candy bars. I probably eat them. Is that a whistle? But yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to give them candy and give them our food, unnatural food. I would advise not feeding them ever. Maybe if you go out somewhere, maybe put an apple or something like that out. But that's I don't want them. I don't want them to relate my house as a food source anywhere around here because I had problems before with dog food and eating the dog food. And after I took the dog food away, that's what I was talking about earlier. They got ugly. But if you give them like a candy bar, say the chocolate, dogs ain't supposed to have chocolate. It's bad for them. How do we know it could be bad for a booger? Matter of fact, it's got sugar in it. Some of it's got peanuts in it. What if they've got allergies? What if they can't get to a dentist or something? I don't think, if you're going to put something out for them, it should be something natural, something they could get on their own. Maybe do it out of season like apples or something like that. Granddaughter? Yeah, that might work. But I've stuck peanut butter out before, and they took it. They look like they dipped their finger or stick something dirty down in the peanut butter, and they ate like half a jar of peanut butter. But then I got looking into these things more and more, and then people was I didn't come up with they might be allergic to peanuts, but it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you think about it, and the sugar, that's horrible to get one hooked on something like that. I mean, you take something that's not used to high doses of sugar. You see how kids act when they get candy and they get all wild. I mean, imagine a booger on candy. That would be plumb awful. Hopped up booger, and then sugar's addictive. So what if they get addicted to it? Then it's took away from them. I don't think that boogers probably more than likely don't think like we do. I think they've got more of a childish thought process. So maybe they wouldn't understand that and throw a tantrum. Hello, Houston. Ain't seen you in a while. The tapping was no. That's happened dozens of times. Bigfoot meatloaf. I've never heard of gator bait. Been busy or you back to work? Yeah, she had them come in and get Tootsie Rolls or something before. Now they've been in my barn and out in this outbuilding and stuff like that. That's where I did store the dog food at, in the outbuilding. And if they went in my house, they could probably get in it pretty easy. They went a knock or a tap. Yeah, I mean, like different ingredients in it. Maybe they're lactose intolerant if it's got like milk ingredients or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I think if you're going to feed them, and I would suggest you don't do it around your house, and I would suggest not doing it. And that's not to say I haven't done it or I won't do it ever again because I probably will. But there's other things like if you got them around your house, you have to be careful with, like the dog food I talked about it, but also like putting out corn or whatever for deer. Like my chickens up there, I keep that barrel up there, and I've got the game camera on it. Or the chickens themselves, I got the game camera on it. One thing that I've noticed around here, if you put a game camera up, it stops the activity wherever that game camera is pointing. Instamatically. They know about it. I don't know if they see you do it, or if they can sense electronics, or they just know something's up with them. The dog food, I put the game camera down inside of a tote that I keep the dog food in, and they somehow knew it was inside the tote. So that tells me they either seen me doing it, or they can sense it somehow. Yeah, they're over there playing around in the bush. Ran into a dogman at Walmart. Man, the trolls are really out tonight. Good job, Cece. Well, they say they make infrasound, and I believe that. I've heard it here before, like a little uh, buzzing noise or whatever. And I think that might be the younger ones. Now the older ones, I think they can do it where we can't hear it, but it's not unknown in the animal kingdom. I mean, other critters can do it. Elephants, tigers, turkey birds, all that can use infrasound. Yeah, I mean, I think it's quite possible that they have raided other people's stuff around here and people just don't know about it. But like I've had bird food containers emptied overnight, and I mean, birds ain't doing that at night. I don't know, Robin. I mean, I guess they don't, you know, this might sound silly, but maybe they don't, they're respectful of them. Maybe they've got a respectful, like a fear of them or something. But if I've got dozens of game camera pictures where even deer or coyotes or whatever are looking straight at the game cameras. So they know they're there and they know they're, making a noise or see the flash or something. They know they're there. But I guess, a booger's got more intelligence than a deer and has put together that it's doing something. I'm sure they've seen hunters go there and mess with them. put them up or whatever. So you know, maybe they don't know exactly what they do, but they know enough to stay away from them. Yep, horse feed, they'll get in that and sweet feed and stuff. I've heard a few people talk about that. Yeah, alligators do. There's quite a few animals that use it. Oh, I've had several campouts here, and got another one coming up in October. Now that the weather's cooled off, I'll probably be doing a bunch of camping. I think I just heard a mouth pop. I think they might be here, guys. But I will talk to you later about it, Fiedler. Try to see if it's floating around. I must have missed what you said, Houston. Booger and cats can communicate with infrasound. That's a well-known fact here. And I'm probably the best scientist on the farm. I use poking sticks and such. And Oakleys for handling material. Yeah, I've had a bunch of people tell me about the bacon, and I've tried it before, and they leave out like a pan that they've cooked the bacon in, and it'll be licked clean. And, I mean, what don't like bacon? It's true, Robin. I am the smartest person, anyway. The tent video, are you talking about the ribs and such? Really? That's cool. Two sirens. I've heard that a couple times here. It's not something you hear very often. I've got one of them recorded actually way back. All right, well, the tent video, you know, it looks pretty good to me. However, the guy that's done it is a known hoaxer. I mean, he's admitted it and everything, so it's just always going to be sketchy. There's nothing he could do now to make me fully believe anything he puts out there. And I use that stance on anybody that's hoaxed or constantly lies about stuff. I mean, how many times can somebody lie to you before you don't believe them? You know, no matter what they put out there, they could have the best video ever of a real Bigfoot, and like that guy, I wouldn't believe it. Sorry, I didn't make him lie or hoax, but he did it on of his own free will. So I can't trust nobody like that. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, the video looks pretty good to me, but I just can't fully commit to it. I mean, that video really looks good, but there's always gonna be that stigma around it. I don't have a meatloaf picture. This was back a few years back. Whenever I first figured out that these boogers was real and started looking into it, I seen a bunch of his stuff, and same guy, what's his name, had a. It's the same guy that had a like a freezer with a supposedly frozen booger in it, but it was a bunch of cow parts and a mask or something. You're not ready. Uh-oh, what's going on? I think that's a no. Amazing. So cool it. Yeah, Rick Dyer, that was his name. But I mean, he's got, there's videos up where he just tells people that he's trolling and he's like just poking at the community. So I mean, I don't know, Jay. Maybe the government did get to him, and maybe he's a shield or whatever it is they call him, uh, disinfo agent, whatever. Like I said, that video looked pretty good, and even he was involved in that shooting Bigfoot video too. And I mean, that video looked pretty good. Now, if it's real, who knows? I mean, I can't say it's real. Hello, Jackie. Well, get to work. Well, I guess thumbs down hasn't made it in yet. Maybe didn't get his notification. Yeah, Minnow Films. I think that was a dude out of England or something. The creek's finally quieting down. The ground's still a bit soggy. And it's supposed to be nice the rest of the week, so. Oh. I don't know if anybody heard that or not. Let me go grab my FLIR. Sound like they hit the barn. I don't know, Lane. I mean, I don't. Like I said, I can't trust a thing that he says or puts out there. All I can say is, if those were hoax, then it was a pretty good one. If there is such a thing as a good hoax, I'll say it was a good quality hoax. How about that? If if that's what it is. I mean, I can't trust a thing that he puts out there. I'm not sure who Sasquatch the Truth Told. If that's who you're talking about, I like him. He. Seems like a good guy, good kid. He's got a couple. Just type in Rick Dyer and whatever pops up is more likely a hoax. Yeah, wasn't he in with that Biscardi on one of them? So here's the link to the video, the tent video. And well, the only link I see for shooting Bigfoot is a pay video. But you can, I know I've seen it on here before. But the other one's called Shooting Bigfoot if you look it up. Think they're related? I wouldn't doubt it. But Jay brought up something interesting about, the government got to him or whatever. And it seems like any time that anybody gets halfway decent footage of these things, the trolls pop out, and it's a lot of people in the Bigfoot community pop out and start just acting ugly, saying this and that about them. But like the window tapper video that I have, I disabled the comments on it because I got tired of looking at them. I mean, you got a lot of people that will just totally try to slander and discredit it and whatever. I mean, I know what it was, and that's all I can say. The video is still up, and I dang sure know I filmed one. I think I filmed two that night. But I mean, if I get something on video, I will do my best to debunk it myself. But there's nobody coming up here at 3 a.m. or whatever time it was and tapping on windows, and that's just not going to happen. And then I put a game camera up there, and it totally stops. I've got the window tapping that actually happened a couple times within a week or 2 weeks, something like that. And I have it recorded once on my recorder, and I've got a video on that up too. But I mean, it's just stuff that they do. I've got them recording slapping the house. Exactly, Fender. I mean, that's what I told people. Somebody creeping around your property, and especially here in Eastern Kentucky, Southern West Virginia, maybe even where you all live. You don't go to somebody's house at night in the middle of the night or basically any time and start messing around their property, because everybody out here is armed and everybody out here knows how to use their arms. So it's just a bad idea to be prowling around. Matter of fact, whenever it first started happening here, they was slapping buildings or slapping the side of my house. They would wait for me to go to sleep before they would hit the house. Now I could sit right here where I'm at right now, and they would slap that outhouse. And I would get my spotlight. I'd have my shotgun right here, and I'd shine it down there, and I would work up enough courage to walk down there. And what put a stop to that is it flooded here, and it washed up a bunch of sand around that outhouse, and that's one of the reasons I'm tearing it down, because it ruined a bunch of stuff down there. But they're highly aware of their tracks too. So that put a stop to them hitting that, but they still hit the barn. I mean, I think they hit the barn a while ago. And the other buildings around here, they have slapped. They haven't slapped the house in a couple months now. But whenever it first started happening, I would come out, walk around the house with my gun, holler at whoever you are, you better don't come back, and I'd shoot a couple of rounds in the air and all that. I mean, it's just, once somebody does that, and if it's people, they're not coming back. I can promise you that. And besides that, if somebody was to drive up here, I can hear them a mile away. Whenever this was going on, I had a boxer dog. Whenever it first started going on, a boxer and a Rottweiler. People don't walk up to a dark farm. If I turn these lights off, watch here. I'll still have my computer screen on. But this is what it looks like at night. I mean, it's dark. You can't see nothing. Well, if there's a full moon or a nice sized moon out, you're not going to see nothing here at night. There's no street lights. Unless I got a house light on or a porch light or something, it's dark. It's about as dark as you can get unless you go back in a coal mine. There's no neighbors. The closest neighbors are 2 miles. People just don't walk around barefoot in the dark just to mess with other people. I mean, you just don't do it. Yeah, you gotta worry about snakes. There's quite a few things you gotta worry about. And I'm not, people ride 4-wheelers and cars. I used to ride bikes as a kid. Back then, you didn't even have to worry about your doors being locked or anything like that. I mean, things have changed. For a while, it might still be like that. I don't know. I don't go out and talk to a whole lot of people, but, well, I know it's still like that because there's a guy now that's been out stealing, but, once you get a name like that, everybody's on the lookout for you. But Peel's hitting this area real bad, and a lot of the younger folks got hooked on them and would do anything for them, and rob their mother. I mean, that's how bad it gets. And you got to watch people like that. But even people like that, I've only had trouble one time, and I knew who done it. I had it narrowed down to about 3 people whenever it happened. They came and stole some stuff off of me, but I got it all back because I pretty much I convinced him that he had made a huge error and got all my stuff back. So anybody that if I see the guy now, if I see him up here, then I'm gonna convince him that he probably shouldn't come back up here, and that's just the way it is. I believe in giving people a warning once. If I see him again, then I mean, after my first warning, I have to think that they're coming back to do me harm, right? He'd only do it once. I mean, that's you just have some people out there that ain't got very good sense. No comment. Actually, there was some other people that came up here and they was getting firewood, and I convinced them not to come back up. So that's twice that something like that's happened. Yeah, a lot of the times whenever it snows around here, they don't come up to the house. There was one live stream. This one, the snow on the ground was patchy. It was, the sun had melted a lot of it off. And oh, they threw a rock on top of. I know it was like a handful of rocks that they threw up on top of the roof, and we could hear them rolling down. And I came out and found two tracks, and they were huge. Yeah, it's you get very offended if somebody breaks in and somebody steals your stuff. You're out, you're working for your stuff, and somebody comes in and take your stuff. It's very offensive, and you try to make sure that that person realizes that it's a very bad idea, and that they probably don't want to show their face on your on your property again. Yeah, but a few days later he took it back. So there's that. Bigfoot at their door. At whose door? Yeah, I'd say down in Texas they don't put up with intruders either. They used to. That's one of the reasons we've got the freedoms that we do is because of our Second Amendment. Because I mean, it would be hard for an army or whoever to come in and take over this country, or even our own government to come in and take over this country because the citizens have armed. And the founding fathers, in all their wisdom, knew this. That's why it's one of our rights. And it's probably the most important one we got because it protects the other rights. Yeah, I mean, you don't know if somebody's coming to do you harm. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to shoot nobody. I'm a peaceful man. However, I will protect what I'll protect what's mine and myself. No doubt in my mind about that. I mean, I'm just saying it's a bad idea. It's like I told the people that were stealing the firewood that it's a bad idea to trespass on somebody's property and steal off of them. You're liable to get shot, which is just good advice, right? I mean, give somebody a warning, tell them what could happen for their actions is just good advice. Oh yeah, I mean you got to keep your stuff locked up now. I mean that's why I've got security cameras and game cameras and stuff. Another reason I've got them. I mean, I don't. Of course, I still ain't got the security cameras hooked up, but I've got signs up. Let folks know that they will be on camera if they're on the property, and it's not all for the boogers. Boogers can't read, as far as I know. What is that link, Frank? That's the door one. I can't click on it right now because, well, I can open up another window, I guess, and do it. Man, I can't wait for the first frost to kill off these mosquitoes. They're terrible right now. I don't know if I've seen that or not. I'll watch it later. In Ohio, you better shoot them and drag them in your house. Why? Why is that? No, you've got every right to protect yourself and your property. I think Frank, I think that's what Frank just did. Bigfoot at my door. I don't think I've seen that one actually. Well, I mean, I don't know. If that was the law here, then I don't know. Maybe I would toss a gas jug beside of them or something. I mean, I don't see how that's. You might want to look at that a little bit better. I don't think that they don't sound right. Why would you have to drag them in your house? They could be outside and do you harm too. Well, I mean, not really. What if they've got a grenade or a, Molotov cocktail or a gas jug and they're going to burn you out? Or a gun. Bullets will go through the. Yeah, throw a gas jug out there. I'll show them. Well, if you've got kids out in the yard and they're coming for one of your kids, I mean, anything. I don't know. If I could prevent it, they would not make it even halfway into my house. And whatever. If you're in the right, you're in the right. So it's really not too surprising to me that there would be laws like that, but that's just crazy. I mean, your basic God given privilege is to protect yourself. Exactly, Frank. Exactly, Jay. Except for who knows with some of these kangaroo courts they got nowadays. But anyway, I'm not out to shoot anybody. I'm here to be a peaceful, civilized human being. Just don't tread on me. And that's just good sound advice. I think the boogers have moved up the holler. They hit the barn a while ago. I keep looking with the FLIR and not seeing anything. I'm gonna look up that wall though. That's pretty messed up if they do that in Ohio. I wonder if it's like that in southern Ohio, because them people, some proper hillbillies down in southern Ohio, they probably even call it Ohio instead of Ohio. Good night, sissy. I'll probably jump off here in a minute too. Not much going on tonight. Sit out here and listen and maybe answer some comments. Timber rattler. Um, but yeah, I'll look you up on Messenger, Pam, or send me a message or something. Maybe you already have. That way I can find it easier. So I don't get on Messenger too much, but we do have the group, and it's pretty good people. We're just all crazy. I have no idea what it is. No idea. I mean, I've heard all kinds of different things of what they could be. I have no idea. Some kind of hominid, though. That's for sure. You sent me something on Messenger? I don't see it. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's all over America, but there is a problem with it here, too. Leftover giants from the Bible, like the Nephilim, or the looted form of the Nephilim. I mean, I guess that's possible. The Cherokee called them the Stonish Giants a lot. I mean, or at least that's what it's translated to in English. Hello, Pamela. Well, guys, I guess my thing ain't gonna happen now. I think they've moved up the holler. I heard pop. Well, I heard the first knock down below me, and then a pop up above me, and then up at the barn was another. I don't know if they hit the barn or threw something at it or what. I don't know if that's it or not. I think that might be it. No problem. Well, dang, I'm gonna jump off here, go get my shower, kick back and relax, maybe check out some of these timestamps. And I do appreciate people leaving comments and timestamps. It's pretty cool. It really helps me out and helps others out so they know where to look. But don't get upset if I can't see it because I'm not very good at seeing these on the video. I've walked I've walked all over the woods in the dark my whole life, so I don't see, just because now that I know that they're there. I mean, I guess you think about it, and you can overthink things, and your mind can play games with you. And I try not to let that happen. But here in almost a month, I'll be 42 years old, and I've walked these hills at night at least since I was, what, 10, 12 years old, and nothing's ever bothered me. I mean, things have happened, but I'm still alive, and I've never been attacked or anything like that. So, yeah, I've got a healthy respect for them. I don't know if maybe if I seen one or if they, you know, done something really ugly, and there's been some exciting times, but I mean, I'm not scared to walk around in the dark. And Jay is right. I wear the full armor of God, so if it's my time to go, then If the good Lord wants a booger to take me out, then there's that. There's nothing I can do about it. Oh yeah, Tom Stanning's real. I've seen him. Well, on video anyway. I've never met the guy, but he's real. I mean, that's not a fake Todd Standing. There's really a fella named Todd Standing. Yeah, ain't quiet. Yuki Holler. Yeah. Could be Tracy. All right, guys. Well, y'all have a good night. Enjoy the week coming up. I've got a couple more videos I'm going to put up from Stinky Holler. Maybe might catch something in it. And you can laugh at me losing my phone, only to figure out that I stuck it in my bib pocket and forgot to zip it up. And it fell out, crossing the log. But anyway, that's that. Y'all have a good night, and God bless.